There is an unprecedented opportunity right now for all light workers around the world. Hey, what's going on, my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to share with you 5 things I think you should know about the coronavirus and how it relates to the ascension process. Number 1, not that I have to tell you this, but it's a very heavy energy out there right now. But iron sharpens iron, as they say, and you are not alone. Okay, right now you might be feeling like you're tapped into the collective panic. Maybe you're experiencing a bit of panic in your own life circumstance. For after all, our own life circumstances are just merely a microcosm of this collective manifestation. And in this type of energy, it can be challenging, not impossible, but challenging to really feel like you're in alignment with that positivity, in sync with your flow, if you will. But it's possible, and you're not alone. Reminds me of just a couple days ago, I was at the grocery store getting some stuff, and as I was checking out, the woman, this nice woman who you could tell by looking at her, she had just had enough for the day. You could just feel the energy in that place. It was very intense. Everyone was sort of in that sort of scarcity, panicky type of mindset, understandably, I would say. Anyway, I'm sure she was dealing with a lot of nasty people, unfortunately. And at one point, she dropped this bag of apples that I had bagged up for myself. And when she dropped those apples onto the floor, not only did the apples get kind of bruised and whatnot, but a few of them even rolled under the counter, and she couldn't even get them. And she didn't even bother to pick them up. You know what she did? She let out a gasp, like, and I saw her doing what I do sometimes when I'm stressed, like I squeeze my forehead. So she was at her wit's end, okay? She was feeling the panicky energy. But what I did, I said, hey, what's going on, my friend? No, I didn't do that. Of course, I was cool with her. I said, listen, it's okay. And then another woman, another worker saw what had happened, and she kind of came running around and said, hey, listen, I'm gonna bag for you. I'm gonna help you out here, okay? So there are gonna be times when you're feeling low, and there are gonna be other times when you're feeling good. And the nice thing is we are here to lift one another up. Okay? Not most importantly, but in addition to this, very, very, very important part of this whole grand message I have for you is that to remind you that iron sharpens iron. Okay? There are times when life flows easily, and there are times where we really have to work at it. Now is one of those times. But those are the times we learn and grow and expand the most. The weight of the world is heavier than it's ever been right now. And it's going to be crushing, unfortunately, not literally, but figuratively, a lot of people. But people like you are destined to rise to the occasion. Because the main reason so many people are in fear is because no one knows, not a soul on the planet can tell you with certainty what's happening and how it's going to play out. The world has never been filled with so much uncertainty. But you have. Your entire awakening journey, I would argue, has been filled with the sting of uncertainty. It's always just one leap of faith after the other, one intuitive hit, followed by a courageous action through your own doubts and fears after another. And so it goes on and on and on, and you've done this before. You know what to do in this energy, and you will do it just beautifully. Number 2, living from love, even though it's not easy right now. Okay? That's the key to having a very, not only smooth and, fairly stress-free transition, but a transition that will really, and I'll talk more about this towards the end of the video, it's really going to spring you up in your life, in your empowerment, in yourself. There's so much raw potential in this energy right now, but it's so overwhelmingly scary and dark and negative. And everywhere you go, people are emanating that fear because they're all plugged in to the mainstream media. So it's not easy to just by default follow suit. Right now, the key, as you probably have already learned in your own journey, is to stay in your center, go with the flow of your intuition, because when you do that, there is energetic support. The energy is so intense right now, but really what we're experiencing is the vibrations on the planet have never been so high that it's creating this collective purge. And though that purge is in our face and it's distracting, the truth of the matter is the vibrations on the planet have never been as high as they are right now, and you can tap into them. And when you do, there's just this flow of support and ideas, and you'll just always know what to do. You'll find yourself, getting the thought in your mind that, hey, I should go to the grocery store right now. And you happen to go there, and guess what? There's people unloading the truck with toilet paper for you or whatever it is, and you'll have your own internal way of guiding yourself through this experience, and it will be really smooth for you if you can kind of stay in your flow and proceed from a place of love. It reminds me of this book I'm reading right now on my Kindle. It's called The Go-Giver. It's about a very successful, really successful business person who no longer runs his businesses. Rather, he just mentors chosen people. And there's a character in the book named Joe. And Joe's a hard worker, he's a grinder, he wakes up early every day, leaves work late every day, he hustles, he's like tough, he's courageous, and he's drowning. He's missing his mark every quarter, he's not pulling in the sales, and somehow Joe is able to go meet with this go-giver guy. I forgot his name in the book, that's not his actual name. This top dog starts mentoring him, and he says, you wanna know the primary secret to having all the riches you can possibly imagine? It's one word: giving. And Joe scratched his head. He thought, giving? He said, yes, it's about adding value. How can I help others in this way? If you ask yourself that honestly, you will find yourself being helped yourself in many, many, many ways. There's like never before been such an ability to tune in to these higher frequencies, but they're so different. There's such a polar opposite to what's really being broadcasted right now. But if you can find time to get into your center and ask yourself, how can I be of service? How can I proceed from the space of love? I guarantee you, whatever problems you have circulating in your life, you will have solutions to. Not only that, you'll be giving exciting ideas of how you can help other people, and that in itself is very beautiful and fulfilling as well. Number 3, rising to your power. Yesterday, I was having kind of a rough one. I was not taking any of my own advice here, and I was caught up and I felt very frazzled. Like, what am I gonna do? That kind of energy, So in recognizing that, I chose to change my state, as Tony Robbins says. And I went to the Red Rock Mountains, where I always go and sometimes shoot the videos. And I climbed up there and I brought my notebook and I just started journaling and doing like my little automatic writing exercises I like to do sometimes. And I got back in my flow and I felt amazing. And as I was walking down the mountain, I felt such an overwhelming sense of like obligation, purpose, like my mission starts now. And I knew that the energy right now is literally begging for leaders like you to rise up and take charge. Because what we're witnessing right now is the beginning of the end for the current world leaders. Not that you have to run for president, I'm not suggesting that, but most people who resonate with my channel are destined to lead. You're a natural born leader, even if a lot of your life you've been sort of, that level of yourself, that aspect of yourself has been obscured by the karmic accumulation of this lifetime. But we've been going through this purge and purging all of that out for a very long time. And this recent full moon in particular was exceptionally strong and potent and purgative and illuminating. And I bet most people watching this right now have a much clearer vision of who you are and what you want to do and what you came to do with your life. But now it might seem like now's not the right time. I'm hunkered down here. Now is the right time. That's what I won't go there, but that now is the right time, my friend. And I promise you, if you can focus on your mission, focus on your purpose, focus on just really tapping in to that vision you have for yourself and your life, and the world. There's so much momentum hiding underneath the surface right now that's going to carry you forward into that place of leadership where you will rise, you will shine, you will inspire, and you will help people, even if it's done so quietly behind a computer and a blog. There's a million ways to do it. There's a gazillion ways to spread light, but it's literally time for everybody who watches my channel to rise up into that leadership role in whatever way that means for you. Number 4 is a little hack for how to really soar in this energy and rise above the fear is this. You get double points for acts of kindness. You get double points. You are heavily rewarded for random acts of kindness. There is a need, there's a void of that kind of stuff right now. And again, the primary energy is that of positivity. And that's why we're seeing so much negativity. So if you can just do these random acts of kindness, you'll be blown away at how you make other people feel and how that makes you feel. And there's gonna be times where you need that as well. Just like me the other night. We were watching TV with the family and it was kind of late. My 4-year-old Sebastian actually kind of snuck down. So we let him kind of chill with us, my wife and I, and my older daughter Maya. We were watching TV. And sometimes as we do, we decided to get in some popcorn. So my wife made some popcorn. And of course we devoured the popcorn in about 15 seconds. And we were all kind of sitting there, wanting more, but we knew we probably should chill on the popcorn. But anyway, 5 minutes later or so, I look over and my 4-year-old son, Sebastian, he sees a popcorn kernel on the couch and I'm watching him. And he grabs it and he looks at it and he's thinking about it. And he puts it in the palm of his hand and he does this and he hands it to me. Now my 4-year-old son Sebastian is not old enough yet to have an agenda like some of my other kids who are they're wiser and they can be more calculated and strategic with how to get stuff from mom and dad. That's not how it was for Bash. I call him Bash. He just felt it was just so natural to just give away this little prized piece of popcorn that I knew he wanted, just to be loving. And I melted. I was in a kind of a stressful spot as well. It took me a little while to kind of cope with this energy as well. And when I got that singular piece of popcorn, I felt lifted up. It elevated me. It tapped me instantly. It cut through the fear. It cut through the panic. It cut through the drama, and it put me into the state of being of connectedness and love. And you have the ability to do that for other people. And people need it now more than ever. That's just an example of how we can spread our light and be the leaders. It's random acts of loving kindness. Number 5, it's time. Contrary to what most people on the planet are probably doing right now, but it's time to G.S.D. G.S.D. stands for Get Shit Done. It's a little 3-letter phrase my mentor, Bedros, used to say to me, get shit done. It's time for that. And I'll tell you why. Because we have a trampoline situation going on here. What? All these abbreviations, trampoline, what are you talking about? There's something I call a trampoline emotion. It's when we're contracted. It's when we're feeling darker, lower energies and we're experiencing them. People call it the dark night of the soul. People call it just being overwhelmed with, depression, anxiety, fear, worry, anxiety, all that kind of stuff. But really, when we allow ourselves to feel those, what they really are is like pop. They pop us up into a higher frequency. Okay? The vibrations on the planet are higher than ever. They might be giving you the opportunity to sometimes sink into these trampoline states of being. And if you can just sit there and observe and learn the lesson that emotion has to teach you, it will catapult you in vibrational frequency, which might not mean much to you, but that implies all things in your life improve. And what I mean by that, applying it to the G.S.D. thing, is right now, it's like most people are probably drinking and binge watching Netflix or freaking out, stocking up, and there's a lot of time we have. It reminds me of Malcolm X. I read this book autobiography by Malcolm X, and there's one time when he was thrown in prison, And he saw this. Most of the inmates weren't doing anything. They weren't making use of their time. You know what Malcolm X would do? He would literally like hardly sleep at all. He would stay up all night by the crack of his door reading. He was pretty much illiterate up until that point. He taught himself to read, and he literally studied the freaking dictionary. He memorized the dictionary, okay? And he came out and he became this great leader, this great speaker, wealthy beyond belief. And it's like right now is one of those times where you could be at the crack of your own door with a little bit of light available, and you could be studying and plotting your schemes and planning your life and envisioning your future and getting shit done. And if you do, when this fog clears, and of course it will, you will be exploding into the air, literally, with success and abundance and service and empowerment and spewing love, energy everywhere.